Welcome to the call, guys. Hold on, let me just pull up I have some slides tonight. Don't peek. All right, can everybody see my screen? Okay, good. All right, so tonight is January 22nd, week 2 of 80-Day Obsession. And so there's a lot of new coaches starting out. I know a lot of them have started right from our 80-Day Obsession group, being like, hey, I just made it through week 1, like I'm ready to jump in. And then there's a lot of coaches who are coming back and like learning the basics again to being a coach. And then there's veteran coaches on this call as well, kind of like myself, who doesn't hurt to have a little refresher, and you might even get a few tips from this. So I'm going to start it out. Let's rock the basics. I do have a little bit of recognition for January. So the Success Club for this month already: Joan, Katie, Mariah, Bridget, myself, Brando, Bree, and Morgan are all in Success Club for January. And on their way, Kelsey, Samantha, Dom, Courtney, Shannon, Kat, Beth, Jenny, Aaron, Sarah, Brad, and Leanne. If anybody else was not included on this, just go update the doc for next week. It's in the file section of Project Fearless. And if you're not there yet, there's still 10 days left. There's plenty of time. You can still make it. Trying to think of announcements. Team Cup. Find a Team Cup. There's 5 people for the month of February. You can go look at the FAQ, the National Wake Up Call. They mentioned it this morning. And then Success Club trip. Yeah, if there's any other announcements, just throw them in the chat. Success Club for next year. If you haven't got an invitation yet, or if you're a brand new coach that started today, Google it or go on FAQ for Success Club trip next year and get on the opt-in list. So that's a little bit different this year. You actually have to sign up to be invited on the trip. So get on that. All right, so my name is Meg. I've been a coach for it'll be 4 years in March. I recently became a full-time coach. Never thought that would be possible. I was in the corporate world for about 12 years. My why has definitely changed over the years. It first started out doing 21-day fix. I just wanted friends to be able to do it with me and for me to stay accountable to that. So having friends do it with me was my way to do that. Then it became to pay off credit card debt, student loan debt, and eventually freedom. If I ever felt I was struggling, it was because I wasn't doing the basics. So that's why I did a call on that. And really letting that energy and excitement, we have 80-Day Obsession that we're all doing, so we're all amped about that. So having that come through with everything that you're doing. I'm going to try not to look at the messages till after and not get distracted. So this is kind of my vision board that Dom encouraged everyone to do a couple weeks ago. If you haven't done it, I really encourage you to do it too. It really puts it into perspective, like what you want to accomplish this year. So that's kind of a sneak peek of myself. All right, so what the heck are the 4 vital behaviors, right? So number 1 starts with you. Proof of the product, right? So we all have 80-Day Obsession to utilize right now. And if you're not making changes, if you're not living this lifestyle, then how do you expect anybody else to want to do it? So some ways to do that. We all have Joan, our fearless leader, rocking in our launch party as well. So we have 80-Day Obsession, right? And already just 1 week, like look at these results. This is 1 week, right? So like this gives you something to share about. Like if you're a new coach, share every day, like what you're doing, ups and downs, like, not only like the highlight reel, like they've been talking a lot about this, like you've got to show, what you struggled with, like how you overcame it, like what did you learn from week 1, like why did you jump in this? So being relatable, that's really what it comes down to. And every Monday, like a bunch of new people are going to start in with us. And we're like the leaders of the pack right now, trying to like coach them through it. So every Monday, new group of people are going to be starting. So let's continue. So with 80-day obsession, with really any program, or like why you're starting to be a coach, like kind of rocking your why post here. So here's 3 examples of like why you wanted to do 80-day obsession. Not necessarily saying those words, but like what are you hoping to get out of it? What did you struggle with like before, years ago? Why is this working for you now? So really getting that message out there as to like why you're doing this. And then here's a couple of examples. 2 coaches that I was really proud of, their first week becoming a coach, they really started to dive in and like share their struggles. And like it always had a positive message behind it afterwards. So it's being you, it's being relatable, and really bringing the curiosity. Chalene Johnson really talks about this in what you're posting. Like you're trying to make people wonder what you're doing. Why are you so happy? Why are you seeing these results? Like you're not coming out and saying, I'm doing 80-day obsession, you know, I'm a Beachbody coach, or using hashtags like that anyways. I guess you could say some things like that. But rule of thumb is to ask yourself these like 3 questions when you're posting. Like, does this empower somebody? Does this educate somebody? Or does this entertain? The goal is really, especially with the new Facebook algorithm, which I can't remember if it's launched yet or if it's coming, but it's all about like engagement. So getting people to ask questions is going to be key for us. The new algorithm is basically pushing out a lot of businesses and news related stuff. So getting people to ask questions below, commenting and just saying you'll private message them kind of makes other people ask the same questions, and then you private message them. So we got number 1, proof the product. Do your workout, drink your shake, share about it, right? So here we go. Number 2 of the vital behaviors, personal development, because you can't pour from an empty cup. You have to take care of yourself first, and that's like a mind thing too. So here's a couple of examples. You can use podcast. I like Audible. Podcast is free. Audible connects to your Facebook Prime. Not Facebook, Amazon Prime. It helps you build a strong mind, helps you push back that fear of like talking to somebody or messaging them first. And it empowers others to want to do this with you, because you are like, you know, the shining light. You are standing out in everybody else's newsfeed, because out of all the negative stuff going on in the world, like you're showing up for yourself. So 15 minutes a day is the vital behavior. I used to listen on my commute to work every day, so I had about a 45-minute commute every day, so that was great to be able to listen to. You can do it while folding laundry. You can read before bed. Listen like right before you get out of bed, kind of like plugging yourself with good things. If you struggle with anything in particular, like self-doubt or, you know, self-confidence, things like that, you can just chat with your coach and say, hey, like I'm struggling with this. What do you recommend? And if they can't answer it, like just throw it up in the team page, and I'm sure a bunch of us have recommendations for you. All right, number 3, invite, right? So the first 2 pieces were really about yourself, and now it's about business building, right? Because if you're doing all these things, but you're not inviting, nobody's going to join you, because people need to be invited to something, like personally invited. It's kind of like, I can't remember, I feel like it was you, Joan, that said this, but if you put on your Facebook, hey, I'm having a barbecue this weekend, and everybody's invited, like, are you in? Only your close friends are actually going to say yes, because nobody else actually thinks they're invited. And they probably won't even like it, because like actually physically like it, because they don't think it's towards them. So you have to bust through that fear and just talk to people. Invite them to at least learn about your journey. All All right, so there's a couple different ways you can do this. Actually, you have to do both of them. I lied. Number one is create posts that is publicly welcoming people to do this with you. So like a challenge group or a coach sneak peek on Facebook, on Instagram. Instagram stories is huge right now. And then simply messaging them after they like it and almost kind of, you know, it's awesome that you want to join us. You're already thinking that they're ready to jump in. Would you like to learn more, or do you have a health and fitness journey of your own? Like you're asking those types of questions. Number two is all of your posts, not just the hook post we call. Anything about your brand is a way to have a conversation. So some may be a little bit direct, and I'm going to show you some examples. Others may just be relationship builders, because if somebody liked your post about, for example, my dog, I already know that they're a dog lover. So it's kind of an instant connection that we have. So here are some examples. I'm going to try not to bore you too much. My brand post, right? So this is working out. Anybody who liked this, hey girl, thanks for the support yesterday. I can't believe I flung that band across the room trying to do this move. So are you on a health and fitness journey of your own? I'm always trying to end it with a question, because I don't want it to just die from there. Like I want to know, okay, they like the post, so they're either on one themselves and I want to learn about it, or they want to do something like that. All right, here's another one. Food. That shrimp and pesto dinner last night was so good. I love how zoodles and spaghetti squash makes it like I'm eating pasta. Let me know if you want the recipe. So I'm actually saying here, like, I have the recipe. Do you want it? Are you on a health and fitness journey of your own? Again, the same type of question. Because if they liked it, you know, maybe they are. And I want to learn about it. I'm also a big beer lover. A lot of the women that are doing 80-day obsession with me are also beer lovers, because that's what I tend to attract. Hey girl, I saw you like the pic of Brad and I at Foundation. Have you been there lately? It's one of our favorites. What's yours? It's just a way to have a conversation. Like we already have a connection that she probably likes beer. So we're going to talk about that. And eventually, I'm probably going to invite her to a challenge group. And Zoe. So you like the picture of Zoe. Blah, 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 blah. Do you have a dog too? So again, possibly a dog lover if they're liking a post to Zoe. Connection. Boom. Don't make it weird. All right. So I'm going to start out before I lay this all out is that use the conversation template that we have in the file section of the team page. But if they're simply interested in 80-day obsession, I'm kind of like fast-tailing it a little bit faster than the conversation template. So don't, but watch. All right. So the party's still happening, the launch party, people are still being added to that. Joan did an amazing job with that video, and it sells itself. Like people want all in once they watch that video. So the idea is to get them in there, watching the video, then following up with them and working through that. So this is what I've been doing. You all may be doing something very different. And if it's working for you, cool, keep doing it. But here we go. So wait, hold on, let me go back. So if they're liking a post of mine about 80-day obsession, I posted a ton before we even started. So I was able to be direct. Would you like to learn more about 80-day obsession or what I'm doing, depending on what post it was? So they're going to say yes. Awesome. Actually, is it cool if I just add you to a group where my team and I can learn, or team and I ran so you can learn more that way? It's an amazing video in there that I really want you to see. Then we can catch up after, right? Then I add them to the launch party. You guys are probably all in the launch party yourself. I simply tag them in that video that you see Joan crying right there. And you'll see what everybody else wrote, but in the tagged comments. From there, I either catch up with them like later that day or the next day, and I just simply say, hey girl, as promised, I hope you learned a ton in that launch party. Pretty exciting, right? Like, what did you like best about ADD Obsession? So I'm getting them to say what they like best about it, right? They tell me. I say, cool. Do you want to know your options to get started? That's it. And then I send them the links, and I basically say the 3 options. So it's really just the links to the 3 different packages, well, 4 depending. And I simply say, which one are you leaning towards? They tell me. I say, what's your email address? What flavor do you want? I'll set you up. And then we get into, like, I actually help them get started. We talk a little bit more about goals then. And yeah, so that's working for me. Feel free to share after what's working for you. All right, so we got the invite process down. Number 4 is recognition. So celebrating people, right? So this is us from Summit last year. If you're not going to Summit this year, you should be. There's still plenty of time. There's plenty of ways to recognize people. So give them some love or a high five in our challenge group. Spotlight people in a group kicking ass. Share your success on your own personal page. Share their success, your success and their success on your personal page. You can ask them if you can use their name, but without names, you can do that. Just block it out. You can put in quotes like what people have said in the group. So even if they're not your own people, you can still celebrate them in different ways. And then welcome on Team Project Fearless page, recognize any rank advancements or fearless behaviors. Right? People, we're having so much fun. All right, so I'm personally adding an unofficial vital behavior that I think will end up being one sometime, right? I don't know if everybody agrees, but if I know if I'm not following up, nothing's happening, right? So follow-ups have to happen, and what is the average, like 7 to 11 times or something like that? So really, it's all about the follow-up. People go MIA, it happens. People forget to respond. They're like in the middle of doing 10 million things like the rest of us, and they forget. Sometimes it may seem like a sea of blue when you're messaging people. You're not crazy. Like, this is just normal. But keep going. I've gotten Courtney, who's one of my, great coaches. I told her it was the last attempt that I was messaging her. It was like a sea of blue. It was like 11 times, like something crazy like that. I was about to give up. And then she signed on the spot when I was 3,000 feet in the air flying from California to Maine. So, and we joke about it all the time now. It's been almost a year. Set the follow-up before the convo even stops. So I am when I used to do a paper calendar, as soon as we were having a conversation, I was already putting them in my calendar to follow up in case like I lost track of what I was doing. Now I'm using Teamsy, but always kind of putting them in the next, either day or week or month, depending on how the conversation's going, before the conversation even stops. If you're following up, remind them of their goals. Use things like, as promised, I wanted to blah, 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 catch up with you. Didn't want to think I forgot about you or what we chatted about. Use a sense of urgency when a group is starting. I've used things like 5 spots left. IG Stories has been great for this because with ADD Obsession, I made a list. Joan did it too. A few others did it too. Like, make a list with numbers of how many people you're accepting, and then like show the progression of adding people's names to the list. So like people visually see, oh, there's only 7 spots left. Oh, there's only 5 spots left. Maybe I should jump in. So Instagram Stories is great for like progression of that. And then at the end of the month, you can do fun incentives. For ADD Obsession, I did like VIP, like a special gift in the beginning. You can choose your own kind of special gift to give to people, or a $5 gift card somewhere. There's lots of different ways you can do that. Another thing that I've been doing recently, and I think it was Liz Harkey that started this, the Take 10, but just simply making yourself a list for the week and having 10 names on it. Who will I empower this week? When somebody comes off the list, you add somebody in. Like, you always have 10 people. That's like, I have this right here. Always right in front of you. It helps to have it on paper. I use TeamsMe most of the time, but having that on paper puts my kind of gives me like a hot list. All right, Katie, you don't know I'm sharing this, but oops. So who on this team signed up the very first time your coach reached out? Is there any hands up? I can't see, but probably not. I can't see. So Katie shared this a little while ago, and she was persistent about reaching out to somebody who really shared her goals, but Katie kept reaching out. She wasn't hearing back. She sent voice messages. She wasn't hearing back. And then she finally gets a message that, you know, she was crying every time she got a message from Katie because she knew she had to do it. She knew it was right for her. And when she finally reached out, it was probably a sea of blue, right, Katie? She was all in. And she was crying, happy tears, look, when she signed up. So to end it with, what if you didn't follow up? What if Katie didn't follow up? What if you didn't follow up? Where would somebody be? The end. What have we got for... You're welcome, Kat. What have we got for questions in here? Oh.
Look at you going above and beyond with like flow charts. Who does that?
I know.
That was amazing.
Like, she wanted bonus points there. You got them.
Hey, it's what I used to do for my corporate job, kind of. Like, I used to do a lot of those, so I kind of
No, it was really showing off.
Well, then
the first time I actually...
I'm legitimately sending you shit from now on and being like, yo, this is the flow of this. Put it together. Thanks. Bye.
No.
Guys, that slide in particular, like I know you saw in the chat, I said, like, send me the picture of this slide, because that is exactly what I did too, all December. And that is exactly what I'm still doing now. And it's working. And if it works for Meg, and if it works for me, and guess what? I know Katie's doing the same thing. And guess what? I know Kat's doing the same thing. And guess what? I know Mariah's doing the same thing. And the reason I'm mentioning their names is because I legitimately see on a notification in my freaking Facebook, like every single day, them tagging somebody in that video. So like, it's working. So you do what's working. And that's like the really cool part about being a coach, is that your coach is leading the way and they're sharing what they're doing to succeed, because they succeed when you succeed. So like, taking a peek at this call that Meg just did and like turning around and applying it to your business is then where the magic happens. Like, there's no secret to this, that nobody's holding back like what you need to do to make money with this business. It's just that they're telling you the things, and you might be on the call and you might be listening to them, but then you're not doing them. Okay, so her call was awesome, but it's not awesome if it just stays in your head. So that is my tip for you at the end of this call, is that take action. Take action and actually do the things so you get the things. And like, also take a look too at the actual announcements that she made in the beginning. Look at who's at the top of the leaderboards consistently, and see that they're also the ones who keep telling you what they're doing. And they also all sound the same when they're telling you what they're doing. And it's all the same stuff. So it's just showing you that if you do that same stuff, you're going to be at the top of those leaderboards too, right?
Yeah.
Yes. And then the announcements too about Summit. Guarantee you all those people who are at the top of those leaderboards and Success Club and stuff are also registered for Summit. So you want to make sure that you're doing the things to get the things. Otherwise, this call was just a waste of your time. Like the last 30 minutes, you might as well have just like
Taking a nap.
I don't know. Yeah. So do the things. You're on here because you want it. So go do it. Any other? She's so bossy. Is this the second time today you've told me I'm bossy? Yeah, I think it is. Whatever. You like it. What else? Anything else? Any other questions? I think there was one question.
I'm reading all the comments.
Yeah.
There wasn't too many questions.
It really did not take
Went
long.
awry.
I think we're gonna need a flow chart for that conversation.
It is way prettier than anything from my corporate job.
I did add the link to the Success Club trip that she was talking about. You guys definitely should go and get on the wait list for that, because if you want to go on it, all it takes is like just making Success Club. And I know that like as they go, I think each month, are they doing that this time too? Did you guys look at the rules for this? Each month, like the top earners, like the top 3 Success Club earners that are like diamond or below, I think get asked they get a spot. So like they automatically get a spot. So, I mean, if that's on your goal list for a free trip, push and get into Success Club and like push, like not just 5 or 10, like push, and you can do it.
I like how there's like a rank board or something, so you can put in your name and see where you rank on the list to be invited.
Yeah.
So like if you check it every week and you're moving up, like push harder. You'll move up faster.
You can see you're doing the right things. You're doing the things to get the stuff.
Doing things to get the things.
Do the thing, get the thing. All right, guys.
All right.
Meg, thank you.
You're welcome.
I think it was good.
Goodbye. Good night.
Goodbye.